brother and sister all in the Dharma. Today I'm going to highlight, or at least to mention something on this very important topic that I'm not qualified to explain or talk about, but to highlight or mention it. There is repaying kindness or gratitude to our parents. This is in fact a very important topic, and it teaches the highest humane quality that all human beings should practice. It is so important that almost all religions in the world teaches this as one of the major topics. And then the Lord Buddha has shown no exception in these subjects, and has in his several discourses has explained these subjects. For example, in this Mangala Sutta and others discourses that paying salutations to our parents, father and mother. May I call your attention that in several actual real life experience whereby father or mother, or in combination cases whereby the father or the mother sacrifice their life and to save their children from fires or floods or dangerous animals, and then they sacrifice their lives so that their child or their children to be saved, but not them. And from this temple itself, I recall that about 2 weeks ago, one of our members here did also raise up how his mother attended to one of the members, the very ill members, the sickness that the children's experience, but our father and mother attend to the dirt or the bitterness that our father and mothers bear to it. By realizing all this kindness that given to us by our father and mother, but all the troubles that we cause to them, we should in fact be gratitude and pay our duty respect to our father and mother. And the Lord Buddha in fact has introduced several ways whereby how we can pay our respect or gratitude to our parents through the following ways. The first is to introduce the way so that our father and mothers can access to the knowledge of Dharma. It is because of this, of their ignorance or some of their limited intelligence, whereby they, before accessing to this knowledge of Dharma, they have a lot of these troubles or these confusions in their mind itself that they cannot be solved by themselves. Therefore, one of the highest duties or high present that perhaps we may give to our parents is to lead them to know the knowledge of Dharma, the taught by the Lord Buddha, so they themselves can find happiness and keep and the calmness and understanding about the life, and they themselves will lead a happy life as we experience now also, as all of you. The second duty perhaps we may do is to assist our father and mother in their daily lives, to carry out their daily duties. For example, to carry out some of the household duties, and for example, this may reduce our father and mother's burdens, as we must realize that our father and mother is getting older and older one day by day, and we are growing up and up. And then therefore we should in fact at least do our part to reduce their burdens, and so that they can feel and enjoy or look comfortable in the home. Thirdly, we should do merits or carry out good deeds on behalf of our parents' names. And then fourthly, we should practice obedience towards our father and mother. This can be found usually in family whereby the father and mother, or the parents, that maintain some sort of traditional practices. And therefore, being the children, we should try our best, if not least, not to conflict with our parents with some of the traditional practices whereby they have carried out throughout their childhood time until now. If we cannot explain to them some of the uselessness of the traditional practice, we should not conflict with them, but if possible to carry out some of these traditional practices. For example, the Chinese parents, for example, they still carry out those thousands practices by burning joss stick, burning those paper money and so on. So at least, being children, this is a very important duty for us to practice obedience towards our parents. The best is if we can explain to our father mothers and make them understand of this uselessness of this practice. If we can't do so, please do not conflict with our parents of this traditional practice. Then fifthly, attend to our father mothers spiritually and materially support. This is very important, especially the spiritual support to our father and mothers. You may recall that during our childhood time when we were still a baby, if our father and mother just give us $1 and said, "That's it, $1 and give it buy ourselves some food," we will not do so without the mother or father love there. Therefore, now we are grown up, we should attend to our father and mother, not just every month send them a check or send them a big sum of money, then, okay, you spare yourself that. We should duly pay our gratitude and appreciation to our father mothers. They have hardly brought us to this stage, then to attend to their needs, their sicknesses, their discomfort, and so on. So there be the feeling of secure and also feeling of satisfied they have brought us to today's state. It is in fact a very wrong attitude to note that some people will say that it is in fact the doctor's duty just to attend to the fathers and mothers, and it is in fact feeling embarrassing for some son to say that it's a very goodish act to attend to the father and mothers. And also on the other hand, some may think that after the daughters, after their marriage, they'll leave the home. They should have no more burdens or these duties to repay their respect to their parents. This is in fact a very wrong attitude to think so. We should in fact realize and then understand by today we are so healthy, we are so rich, we are in fame, we are in beautiful and handsome state of today, healthily standing or sitting today here to attend to the Dharma teachings here, is all because of our parents' hard work that have brought us to today's situation. We should always recall and contemplate all our kindness that have given to us by our father and mother. Therefore, we should, in our daily practices, extend our loving kindness and then our wishes so that our father and mother be strong, healthy, long age, may they be well and happy. And here to end, I would like to in fact express my thank you and appreciation to all my father and mothers that have hardly brought me up to today's positions that I can at least speak a few words here. And I will in fact thank all of you here to patiently listen to me to this talk. In fact, it's a chance for me to practice speaking in front of all of you. May all of you be well and happy, strong and healthy.
So I'm going to discuss a certain dreams that King Pasenadi Kosala had during the Buddha's time. He had a series of dreams, altogether of 16 of them. So he could not understand the significance of these dreams. So he went to consult his fortune tellers, Brahmins, and some other religious teachers. The way how they have interpreted these dreams created more fear in his mind. So he could not satisfy. Then he came to see the Buddha and told him, I had these very funny dreams and I discussed these matters with other religious teachers and the fortune tellers. I am not happy about their interpretation. So could you please tell me the meaning of these dreams? So he mentioned one by one. So the Buddha has given the answer. The answers indicate some sort of prediction that he made and way of life and the nature of our worldly conditions in this world. So the first dream, he said, I have seen 4 black bulls coming from 4 different directions into the royal courtyard, preparing for a big fight and drawing a crowd who later became disappointed by the subsequent quiet departure of these bulls without any fight. This is the first dream he had. That means he has seen 2 huge black bulls prepare for a big fight in the royal palace courtyard, and the big crowd also assembled to see this fight. Later, both of them separated without fighting. So what is the significance of this dream? And then the Buddha explained, it will come to pass when kings and their subjects backslide, become perverse and unrighteous. There shall be drought and famines in the land. At the sign of an imminent storm, women folk would rush to carry sun-dried rice and crops indoors, and the men go forth to raise the embankment, but low. Just like the bulls in your dream fought not, just. So there shall be only thunder and lightning, but no rain. The meaning. So in time to come, there will be signs or indications or thunder or lightning, but no rains. And there will be drought, and there will be famine, there will be a lot of problems and difficulties. But people had to suffer, people create disappointments regarding their way of life. So that means when the rulers of the country or all over the world and their followers or their subjects do not fulfill their duties and responsibilities and obligations in righteous way, and they misuse and abuse and insult their freedom and their authority, their responsibilities, then there will be famines, drought, but no proper rain in due time. This is the meaning of the first dream. Then he said, I had another dream. I dreamed of a tiny trees and shrubs flowering and fruiting just after having sprout. Small plant just after planting a fruit, and some other creepers also started flowering and fruiting. So what is the significance of this tree? Then the Buddha says, it will come to pass when the world become decadent and the men short-lived, when young girls become promiscuous and shall mother children, just as the flowers in your dreams represent the babies. They shall conceive, and the fruits shall be the babies that they give birth to. So in time to come, small girls conceive babies, give birth. This is the indication or the signs that shown you for you to understand what will happen in time to come. The reason is those girls neglect their responsibilities and completely forget their dignity, and shame and fear fade away from their mind. After that, they behave independently without respecting their parents or elders, without listening to the elders. Because of that, their life turns into the other way around, and they start giving birth during their early stage. I think it is happening all over the world. This prediction was made 2,500 years ago, and these sayings were recorded nearly 2,000 years ago in the book. It's not that having seen actually what happened or what is happening around the world according to the modern way of life, and this prediction was made. In many countries, abortion is legalized. Because of this, behavior of young girls has become real nuisance to the public. They have completely lost their shame and fear to maintain their dignity of their family and the name of their parents and their family background. Too much of freedom. That is what the Buddha has mentioned 2,000 years ago. In fact, some of them are proud to behave like this. They can glorify, they can challenge with others. That means no shame and no fear anymore. Third one, I dreamed of cows sucking the milk of cows which had been born the same day. The mother cow sucked milk from the baby cows. The calf was born on the same day. This is the third dream that I had. Then, the Buddha's prediction. It will come to pass when men showing no reverence for the elderly, parents and parents-in-law shall themselves administer the family inheritance. They will provide food and clothing at their own whims for the substance of their own folks. Thus, old folks become destitute and become dependent on their children, just like the cows in your dreams sucking mother's cow. So in time to come, parents completely lose everything. No authority, no voice, no property. Everything was taken away by the children. After that, children try to control their parents. Those poor parents have no more voice. If they say something, the parent can say, shut up. This will be the situation in time to come, the behavior of their children. So old folks become powerless, useless, and nuisance to their families. But in those days, children give due respect to their father and mother, never ill-treat them, give them full authority, listen to them, and always seek their advice. But in time to come, children do not care, do not listen to them, do not respect them. This is the meaning of the fourth dream that he had. So I'm giving these details in brief, so those who want to know more details can read Jataka story. The name of the Jataka story is Maha Supina Jataka. Supina means dream. Maha means great. Maha Supina Jataka. More details given by the Buddha. This is only in brief, I am giving the essence of the prediction made by the Buddha. Next one, I dreamed of men unyoking sturdy and strong oxen and replacing them with young steers who are unequal to the task and who refuse to pull the cart load, and so stood quite still. So I have seen those very strong oxen who could carry heavy bullock carts, release them and use very young bulls who could not pull the heavy weight of the bullock cart, or the refused to pull the cart load, and so stood quite still. So what is the meaning of this? Then the Buddha says, it will come to pass when unrighteous kings, being disrespectful of the elderly, wise and learned advisers, who are well experienced in state matters and worldly affairs, appoint young and incompetent fools instead to enforce the rule of the law of the government. The state's business get muddled, and the fools, being incapable of shouldering the burdens, throw off the yoke of office. The elderly, worldly wise, having felt ignored, become indignant and being passed over, and so remain aloof and disinterested, while the king face ruin, just like the ox cart in your dreams, not moving anywhere. The significance. So he has seen people have released the strong oxen who could pull the bullock cart, replaced by using very young bulls who could not pull. That's all. Then the Buddha has given this prediction. So in time to come, the rulers of the country neglect or disregard, ill-treat wise people, intelligent people who had experience how to rule a country, how to run a government. By neglecting wise people, intelligent people, learned people, the rulers give high authorities to young people who are not educated, who never had any experience how to run a government, how to rule a country, and how to maintain their subjects, and ruins everything. After that, the whole kingdom may collapse. See whether it is happening in any part of the world. Those who are wise, those who are intelligent, those who are clever, have no place in the society in many countries. By using all sort of cunning method or any unrighteous, indecent method, they get the authority into their hand and rule the country. But they never realize they ruin the whole country, and innocent people had to suffer. Next dream. I dreamed of horse with a mouth on either side and eating fodder when fed from both sides. So I saw a horse with got two mouths on both sides, and people come and feed from both sides and start eating. So what is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha said, it will come to pass when foolish and unrighteous kings shall appoint greedy judges to preside at judgment. Bribery and corruption shall be the order of the day. Just like the horse in your dream eating fodder with two mouths at the same time. Think for a while whether it is true or not, whether it is happening in any country. Judges do not work according to the justice or the law, or without considering in righteous way. They take bribe from both sides, then give a wrong judgment in favor of some people who have given more bribery. No justice and no law and no peace, no kindness, no sympathetic feeling. Just they are greedy for their income. You have seen another story in Dhammapada where certain judges were talking after taking bribery from both sides how to settle a court case. One story there in Dhammapada. So these incidents or happenings or unrighteous way of life is very common all over the world. The nature of human mind is such. The cunningness and selfishness, these two dominate and influence and topple all the other righteous way of life and respectable way of life. Whether they are rulers or judges or any other authorities makes no difference. Cunningness and selfishness. Next one, I dreams of people holding out a precious and well-polished golden vessel, asking an old jackal to urinate into, and which the beast did. They brought a valuable golden vessels and asked on jackal or foxes to urinate into this golden vessel. So what is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha says, it will come to pass when unrighteous kings, though of noble breed but distrustful of offsprings of peers, shall honor the upstarts by giving their daughters to them in marriage, in order to save their royal position. And the awkward union is like the old jackal in your dreams easing itself into the golden vessel. In royal families, how they maintain their names and the fames and their dignity without considering very carefully their way of life, their education, their character, their behavior, not knowing their low mentality. So they invite certain young people into their palace and give in marriage their daughters. But after their marriage, they never realize that these people disgrace their royal families. Later, when the authorities and the responsibilities come to their hand, that they can abuse, they can misuse, and they can ruin the whole country. But just to maintain their family tradition or the names of their royal families, without considering very carefully, they perform their marriages, intermarriages, by inviting certain young people, those who are real fools, those who cannot understand things properly, those who cannot decide things properly. That is the meaning of this dream. Next one, I dreams of a man seated on a bench weaving rope, and a hungry she-jackal hiding under the seat without his knowledge and eating the rope coming on the floor as he wove. I saw a man was weaving, making a rope, and another jackal who was hiding under the chair and start eating the whole thing, everything what he made. But man doesn't know that somebody is eating the rope. So what is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha says, it will come to pass when wayward women shall lust after men, a strong liquor, fine dress, travel and sensual pleasure. In their waywardness, the women will doll themselves up. neglect their household duties and squander their husband's earning and their lovers, just as she jackal in your dreams, plundering away the rope maker's effort. Now see the way how Buddha has predicted this, significance of this dream. So in time to come, those women folk who are crazy for their romantic life, running after different men by neglecting their own husband, and they are addicted to liquor and beautiful dress, and they like to travel here and there independently. They are crazy for sensual pleasure, and they move here and there by neglecting all their duties and obligations. They can neglect even their children, neglect their husbands, spend everything what their husbands earn by working so hard. This is the meaning of your dream. Observe what is happening all over the world, especially in many other countries. How they regard or respect, accommodate their own husbands, and how they shun their husband at any time, and how they misuse and abuse and waste everything what their husbands earn, and how much they spend for their makeup, their dresses, their decorations. Even then, if they can fulfill their duties, obligations, if they can attend to their household work, people can tolerate. But there are many cases in many parts of the world, their behavior has become nuisance to others. They can forget their own children. They can forget their husband. They can waste everything what the husband has earned. What they need is beauty and nice dress, makeup, and also addicted to liquor and various other things. So you can imagine how the Buddha has predicted this more than 2,500 years ago, because this way of life was not there at that time, especially in India. They have never heard that they can behave like this. And this situation become very dangerous in time to come. No one can stop this. This is the nature of the mankind and deteriorations when the dignity, responsibility, way of life start to decline. So whatever method people adapt, either by punishing them or beating them or threatening them, no one can stop this. This is some sort of natural occurrence when declining start. When you refer to Chakravarti Sihanada Sutra, the way our Buddha started from the very beginning up to the end, the development of mankind and deteriorations of mankind, and what are the causes, what are the reasons for this development and for that deterioration. Now this is the period that material, worldly conditions, situations, and sensual pleasure, way of life, and crazy attitude towards worldly pleasures, all these things are increasing and developing. Material development and a spiritual degeneration. One side, we are going higher and higher in worldly sense. But in the spiritual sense, we are going down and down. Religion also misuse. Here, there are two places where Buddha has mentioned how the followers of this religion behave, misuse, mislead, abuse religious way of life. Only wise people, understanding people, by realizing this situation, try to avoid certain things which are harmful and dangerous, and try to cultivate certain good qualities to avoid this unfortunate situation. But all the others get into this trouble. Next one, I dreamed of a big pitcher, a pot, at a palace gate, full to the brim amid empty ones. An endless stream of people from all directions and walk of life carrying water kept pouring into the full pitcher, causing it to overflow, but taking no notice of the empty pitcher. We have seen our big pot, many of them are empty. There's one full of water, overflowing. But people, those who carry water, pour into the same pot, but nobody wants to pour water into the empty pot. So what is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha said, to pass, when kingdom become decadent, weak, and almost bankrupt, the kings shall command their subject to toil and sacrifice for the further enrichment of the royal purses, much to the detriment of their subjects' own well-being. Just so it is like filling up the already overflowing pitcher in your dreams. So what is the prediction? So in time to come, the rulers of the country, in many countries, when their income, revenue, property started to decay, decline, bankrupt, then they become weaker and weaker and bankrupt. They haven't got enough income to rule the country, to support the subjects. Then they give order
then they become weaker and weaker and bankrupt. They haven't got enough income to rule the country, to support the subjects. Then they give orders to innocent people. That means work hard, earn more, sacrifice everything for the benefit of the government. Heavy taxes. And the rulers never think that poor people had to suffer. They won't get even enough food for their survival. But the law is such that they must give certain amount to the government as tax. So, all those poor people, supporting them, allow them to suffer, but the law is such that they must, it is compulsory, they must contribute everything to the government by keeping only little bit for their survival. That is the meaning of this tree. Next one. I dreamed of a deep pool overgrown with lotus at its bank, which was muddy in the middle, but clear and sparkling at the bank, to which two-legged and four-legged creatures flocked to drink. So I have seen a pool where there were lotus flowers at the bank, but not in the pool, middle of the pool. And the middle of the pool, a lot of mud and dirty. Although the middle is dirty, at the bank, at the edge of the pool, the water was very clear and pure. So many people flock to drink water from this pool, although the middle of the pool is very dirty. So what is the meaning of this tree? Then the Buddha said, it will come to pass when kings who become unrighteous, arbitrary, incompassionate, greedy, arrogant, and cruel shall amass wealth by imposing back-breaking taxes on their subjects. The people shall flee from town and villages to the border area to escape the oppression, thus making the border area populous and the heartlands wilderness. Just so. It is like the pool in your dreams, which is muddy in the middle but clear at the margin. When certain rules, restrictions, discriminations become intolerable, when innocent people could not tolerate anymore what they do, by realizing this situation, they run away from that area, from that town, from that village, or from that country, thinking that there will be no hopes, no future for us in this town, or in this village, or in this country. Because rulers are very unrighteous, incompassionate, they have no kindness towards others, they have no sympathy towards others, they have all sort of favoritism, allow one group to suffer, another group to prosper. So those who cannot tolerate this decide to run away from that village, from that city, from that country. Now people are running here and there all over the world. in searching suitable place. And immigration restrictions also tightening all over the world. Population is increasing, overpopulated. And human beings cannot understand what to do, where to go, how to live. And the rulers are also not in favor of some people. Discriminations and life has become a big burden. That is the meaning of this dream. The water in this pool, the middle is very dirty, but at the bank, the margin or the edge of this one, very clear. That means they run away from the muddy water in searching a suitable, a peaceful land or place or village or country. Next one, I dreams of rice boiling in a pot without getting cooked. It was part sodden, part hard and raw, and part just nice. One pot. He has seen one part rice is very raw, the other part is just only soaked, the other part only half cooked, and one part already cooked and nice. How come? What is the reason for this? Then the Buddha said, it will come to pass when kings become unrighteous and all the people, including the pious ones around them, become likewise. The infections even reaches the air and affects the tree spirits, Deva, to whom people make offerings. The ill wind that blow recklessly across the kingdoms will even shake the heavenly abodes and anger the spirit dwelling there, so that rain shall not fall, and even if it should fall, it falls unevenly and at wrong places, ruining the whole area, the land and the crops. Just so, the life-giving rain is like the pot of rice in your dream with an unwholesome foliage. The meaning is, here he is referring to the rulers. I think you have heard this story. A king who ruled his country without creating disappointment, without torturing anybody, without discriminating anybody, who wanted to know whether there is any subject in his kingdom who cannot agree with his way of running or ruling this country. He interviewed so many, but there is nobody who complained about his way of ruling the country. But he could not satisfy. He disgraced himself and went out as an ordinary man. So when he was walking, he saw a man was sitting under a tree. He went to see this man and asked, what are you doing here? He said, I am meditating. How do you meditate? I radiate only loving kindness. That's all. This is my meditation. So when he was talking, this meditator gave him certain fruits for him to eat. It's the fruits from the same tree under which he was sitting. Everybody knows the fruits of this particular tree is bitter. Then he asked, how can I eat this one? This is bitter. And the meditator said, you better eat and see. So he had a little bit. He found out it's very sweet. Very strange. I have never seen that this particular fruit is like this. So what is the reason? But meditator does not know that this is the ruler, the king. Then he told, there are two reasons. One reason is, I have been radiating my loving kindness under this tree for so many years. So the atmosphere around this area is completely changed. Even bitter things also turn into sweet things. That is one reason. Second reason is, the ruler of this country, the king, is a very kind, righteous, reasonable ruler who rules his country without any discrimination, without allowing even single subject to suffer because of him. So the power of these virtues of the ruler and the power of this radiation of loving kindness, these two things contributed to create good atmosphere, the whole area, the whole kingdom. That is the secret. When you consider this is also one of the Jataka stories. So when you consider that particular story, here you can understand the effect the other way around. If the rulers are bad, wicked, selfish, then the whole country, every human being in that particular kingdom had to suffer. In another discourse, in Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha says, if the rulers are good and just, then the ministers also become good and just. If the ministers are good, then deputy ministers also become good. If the deputy ministers are good, then the first secretaries and the second secretaries and the staff and everybody, then up to the beggar, then there is nobody to suffer. So according to this discourse of the Buddha, the trouble starts from the top, not from the bottom. If we suffer, according to the Buddha, the cause of our suffering is created or come down from the top, not from the bottom. Simply by threatening, frightening, torturing, no one can create peaceful, reasonable, good environment. Now, in many parts of the world you can understand the death penalty for drug traffickers. The more they punish them, the more and more drug traffickers are spreading all over the world. Just now I heard news, 7 o'clock news in the country, drug traffickers got together and planted bombs here and there and destroyed the whole country because they were punished by the government for trafficking. See how they ruined the country. If you study very carefully how these problems and troubles started from where, start from the bottom. Not from the bottom, start from the top. That is what the Buddha says. According to him, first the rulers must show good example. They must be kind and compassionate, understanding. They must have sympathy. They should not have discrimination. When Emperor Ashoka was ruling India more than 2000 years ago, he has written in his rock edict, still remains in India. You can see how he has treated his subject, irrespective of race, color, or religious discrimination. There were more than 62 different religious cults and denominations in India at that time, but he did not discriminate any of those existing religions in India. He thought it is his duty to support every existing religion written in his edict, rock edicts. He did not discriminate anybody. This is the correct method, righteous rulers, how to rule a country without allowing one particular group to suffer and to support another group. That is what the Buddha says here. Next one, I dreamed of precious sandalwood being exchanged for sour buttermilk. Sandalwood was a very valuable thing to Indians at that time. So, that is why we have seen this dream in this way. Barter system, there is no currency note at that time. So whenever people want to buy anything, what they do, they exchange, the barter system. So he saw people carry very valuable sandalwood and exchange for sour buttermilk. What is the meaning of this dream? It will come to pass when my dispensation means my religion, simple language. When my dispensation is waning, fading, there shall arise some who would enter into the holy order, being bent on greed and shamelessness, and who would preach not the path leading to Nibbana. Instead, they shall flatter to influence others, to give them offering, and position themselves at convenient places to preach for material gain. Just so, my doctrine, that is priceless, shall be bartered away, like the precious sandalwood in your dream, for something like sour buttermilk. Here, predicted about Buddhism. In time to come, my disciples who have entered into the holy order, represent as monks or nuns, what they preach in the name of Buddhism as taught by the Buddha, completely misinterpret, distort, just to win the heart of people by praising them, appreciating them for their material gain, for their own satisfaction, by selling the name of the Buddha, selling the name of the Dhamma. 100% correct. It started long ago, not today. What those people are introducing as Buddhism, as pure Buddhism, as most powerful Buddhism, as secret Buddhism, hidden by the Buddha. Why do they want to do this? For their material gain. for their own benefit. That is the meaning of this dream. Sandalwood, in time to come, no value. But sour milk become very valuable thing. That means doctrinal value, a spiritual value, religious value goes down, down and down and down. But the money, the red packet, the material gain become more valuable thing in time to come. The Buddha predicted this 2,500 years ago. And those so-called monks and nuns and other so-called Buddhist leaders mislead innocent people, take the advantage of their devotion, collecting donations in the name of Buddhism, in the name of religion. That is the meaning of these dreams. Next one. I dreamed of empty pumpkin sinking in the water. The Buddha says, it will come to pass when the world is perverted and the kings unrighteous, the rightful offspring shall be ignored and sink into poverty, and in their place unworthy become the overlords and gain the attention to the kings. In the seat of government, and unworthy whom the pumpkin typifies shall have the final say, as though they have hit bottom. So too, in the holy order, the wicked one and the vile shall prevail regarding requisite, not the virtuous, and everywhere else empty pumpkin sink. So in time to come, all those have very shallow knowledge, and their thinking is very narrow and selfish and clever. They get the positions in the society, in the field of religion, but those elders who are wise, who are pious, who are religious, who are virtuous, have no place. So empty ones can influence others just like empty pumpkin is sinking. So they become more powerful. And real religious-minded monks or nuns or lay people have no place in the society, in religious activities. It is true. Next one, I dreamed of solid rocks as big as houses that float like ship, the other way around. The rocks were floating in the water, big just like houses. What is the meaning of this dream? It will come to pass when unrighteous king shall honor the unworthy young people who are not noble or trustworthy. In the seat of government, the words of the learned noble shall drift idly by and not reach to the bottom of the heart of men. When they speak, they shall be scorned and ridiculed. So too, in the holy order, the word of the worthy do not appeal to the people, but drift idly by just as the rocks in your dreams that float. The meaning of this dream, so in time to come, because of the unrighteous rulers and unworthy religious authorities, both are responsible for this. Unrighteous rulers and unworthy religious authorities. And they distort, discriminate, without giving due place to worthy people. They give authorities to foolish people, unworthy people, those who have no experience. Then what will happen? Holy people, wise people, learned people, when they come to know that they have no voice, people are not ready to listen to them. And the government also not care for them. They want to keep away. They keep quiet. They want to get rid of the commitment. That is the meaning of this dream. The heavy rocks cannot sink. That means cannot influence. Just floating. Keep quiet. Next one, this is number 14. I dreamed of tiny frogs pursuing huge black snake, chopping them up and globbing them. I saw frogs catching dark snakes and bite them and swallow them. The other way around. So what is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha says, it will come to pass when the world is decaying, lustful men shall become enslaved to the young wives, who soon become overbearing and domineering to their husbands and their household. Thus, it shall be like the tiny frogs gobbling up big black snake in your dream. I think it is also true. You can understand this. Many men, lustful men, shall become enslaved, become slaves to their young wives. If the wife is young, elderly husband become her slave. That is what the Buddha says. Then what will happen? Then the young wives become very proud, use authority, dominate. Husband has no voice, like a puppet. Because of that lustful thought, the elderly husband had to surrender everything, had to keep quiet, tolerate everything. It is a real torture to this elderly man, but he tolerates. Just like frogs catching snakes and swallowing. In Parabhava Sutta, the Buddha has mentioned, Atita yobbuno poso aneti timbaruthani tassa issa nasupati tang parabhavato mukham. One of the causes for the downfall of men. Not thinking very seriously. If an old man keep a young wife, what will happen? This will become the cause of his downfall. He has no peace. In fact, he has no happiness. And he is always in fear and suspicion. And he had to obey. He had to behave like a servant to this young wife. It's a real torture to this old man. But even then, he had to tolerate everything. It's another discourse. And here, this indicates I think this was very common even during the Buddha's time in India. There are many stories. So this is not a very strange or very peculiar interpretation, very common. Next one, I dreamed of a village crow known for its great mischief being escorted by many birds of golden plumage, feathers. A crow was escorted by so many golden birds. Crow is a very dirty bird, very mischievous, disturb all the other birds and living beings. But here, the guard of honor for this crow, given by golden birds who got golden feathers. So what is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha said, it will come to pass in the reign of kings who are weak, ignorant, cowardly, and afraid of being deposed, who appoint henchmen to position of power so as to downgrade the nobles to that of yes men and unworthy, just like the crow in your dreams having royal escort. So what will happen in time to come? When the rulers become very, very weak and experience the difficulty of ruling the countries, maintain peace and order, he appoints some people for his own protection, only his trustworthy person to him, henchmen, whom he can trust, but not those who are worthy to support him to maintain or to rule this country, but those people whom he appointed as his ministers or by giving authorities are not in a position to maintain dignity, to maintain peace and order. So what will happen? In time to come, those yes men, the henchmen of the rulers, completely ruin the whole country. So that is the meaning of this dream. Crow is a very mischievous bird, but all the other birds have given guard of honor for him in spite of all these weaknesses, just like giving high authorities to unworthy person who haven't got enough knowledge and experience to rule a country. Last one. I dreams of goats behaving in an unusual manner, chasing panthers and devouring them, and wolf seeing the goats from after trembling with fear and flee even when hiding in the bushes. He saw the innocent animal, goat, chasing after panthers, fierce animals, and catch them and eat their flesh. And wolf, having seen this, started running and hiding under the bushes. What is the meaning of this dream? Then the Buddha said, it will come to pass in the reign of unrighteous king, when those who are unworthy shall be made royal favorites, while the nobles shall be downtrodden and subdued, overturning the rule of law by virtues of royal consent. Those who are unworthy confiscate the property and the possessions which the nobles had acquired in the past, and should be nobles resist, they would be scorned and threatened with physical abuse. Likewise, the wicked ones who enter the holy order shall bully the helpless, worthy and virtuous one until they flee to the jungle. The oppressions of the respected and the holy ones shall be like the goat, scaring off even the wolf in your dream. So the meaning here also, rulers as well as religious authorities. And many of those religious authorities, by using their power, worldly power, and even physical strength, threaten and frighten innocent, holy, religious people. So, a holy religious people have no voice, no authority, no position in the society because of these unruly religious authorities who maintain power. And the rulers also who maintain such power without giving due place to those who really can contribute for the development of the country, for the betterment of the mankind. But rulers do not do that. They always give authorities to unworthy persons. So, the religious authority also misuse and abuse, rulers also misuse and abuse. It is like this, he says, these tigers or panthers or wolf, they are fierce animal, very strong animal, but here goats, very weak animal, chase, maybe catch them and eat them. Those who have no power. This is the significance of these dreams. These are the 16 dreams that King Kosala, Pasenadi Kosala, had. So the Buddha explained the significance of these 16s in this way. So if you want to know, of course the language is very classical language, written nearly 100 years ago by using Victorian English. Even then you can understand Maha Supina Jataka in Jataka story. But in brief, I have given what the Buddha has mentioned according to these 16 dreams. I think we can understand when you observe very carefully what is happening all over the world. All the 16 dreams indicate that we are going down. We have to admit. Then who are responsible for that? All of us. All are responsible. Everybody is contributing something for this situation. Of course, according to Indian astrology, this is not religious, but astrological interpretation. The world system divides into 4 periods. And one particular God is responsible to look after, to attend, and to maintain everything that exists on this earth. So according to them, this period is called Kali Yuga. Kali means dark period. So we are leading a dark period, not bright period. One dark God is responsible for all these things. He is not white. Because of his influence, people also becoming very cruel, wicked, selfish and dangerous, unrighteous human beings. And their moral, ethics and religious principles, virtues, humane qualities, all the good qualities are slowly declined, reduced and reduced and reduced and reduced. This is astrological interpretation. I don't think we can go against this prediction also. When you see what is happening all over the world, then according to the various other discourses of the Buddha, we can see how our way of life goes down and down and down. Then the maximum lifespan goes down up to 10 years. Here in one of the dreams, when small shoot, plant, creepers started to produce or bloom flowers and fruits, a 10-year-old girl can become grandmother in time to come. It is natural. So, after that, there will be very few human beings who remain in this world. Then they start to think very deeply. What happened? What is the cause? According to their deep thinking, some of them realized the cause of this downfall is our own weakness. So by realizing this, again they start to cultivate, turn the other way around. Then go up and up and up and up and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So when maximum lifespan increase up to few thousand years, the Buddha says the Maitreya Buddha, the next Buddha will appear in this world. That is his prediction. Akakatta Jabummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiram Rakhantu Lokasasanam Ittavata Chamhe Sambatang Punya Sampadang Sabbe Deva Numodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya Devo Asatu Kalena Sassa Sampatti Hetu Che Pito Bhavatu Loko Che Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko Idango Jati Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Imina Punya Kammena Mami Bala Samagamo Satang Samagamo Hotu Yava Nibbana Pattiya.